Mr. CINO, you've been in the aviation industry for about 25 plus years.
Yeah, my whole adult life.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah, I love it.
All right, so I got some mind-blowing aviation facts. I want to see if you know any of these, and if you'd like to expand on them, please do. All right, number one, owning a private jet isn't just a fancy purchase. Annual upkeep can be 8 to 10% of the jet's price. So if you just bought a $10 million jet, expect to spend roughly $800,000 to $1 million every year just to maintain it. That's not counting fuel, pilot salaries, or insurance.
I knew that.
You
yeah,
did?
yeah. With fuel,
That's crazy.
Yeah, annual cost of operating, crew, fuel, catering, hangar, maintenance. You right around the borderline for a larger jet in the $3 million a year arena.
Holy shit.
Yeah, yeah. So
What the hell are those people doing?
they use those jets as a tool.
Yeah,
Like a
I
mechanic
understand.
uses a wrench in his toolbox as a tool. He has to buy the tool, and hopefully that tool makes him money. The same is used with a private jet.
I see.
It's literally a time machine.
That's crazy.
It's a time machine.
All right, number two, mass demand surge across the globe. The private jet market is booming, projected to hit nearly $40 billion in 2025, up from about $25.8 billion in 2021. That's a huge jump. The U.S. leads with 75% ownership of business jets, by far the most dominant market globally. Wow, ownership of private jets in the U.S. leading with the 75%
Yeah.
difference.
So yes, over the last 10 years, we have seen lots of manufacturers producing lots of new jets. And they are larger, and we're seeing them more and more jets being sold. Conversely, we are having a shortage of maintenance personnel. We have a shortage of pilots, ground staff. It's very hard to fill that void now of more airplane owners, not enough people to do the work around the airplanes.
Wow.
So, I mean,
Holy shit.
look it up. You can see that there's definitely, even the commercial airlines are having a shortage of maintenance professionals and
That's
and
wild.
pilots.
Yeah.
So it's both two good fields to get into.
Yeah,
If you're kind of lost, and
not know what to do.
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, it's
aviation
a good
industry
field.
right here.
Anything you want in life, you can find at the airport.
Yeah, you always say that.
Yep.
Number three, jet charters cost more than some ask. Private jet charters rates range from $1,500 to $15,000 per hour, depending on the aircraft type and route. What's that mean exactly, private jet charter?
So private jet charter is I own an airplane, and when I'm not using it, I can offer it up to a charter company who pretty much brokers go out there and they get their black books and they say, and you want to take a flight. You don't have enough. You're not in a position to own an airplane,
Okay.
but you want to fly private from, let's say, Teterboro to the Bahamas. So you'd want to charter. It's like an Uber, but with airplanes, right? So airplanes work on hours, right? We do maintenance by hours used, how many landings, and calendar items. Every month these items can do. So hourly. So anywhere from $1,500 for a small jet to $15,000 an hour of flight. So that's flight hour. So if it takes 2.5 hours to go from Teterboro to the Bahamas, you pay 2.5 hours there. Then you have a decision. I think the market still says you either pay 4 hours a day for the airplane to sit there and wait for you,
Yeah.
or you pay for it to come back. So 2.5 hours there and so your
shit.
flight is 5 hours.
Yeah.
And then you have to figure out how to get back.
Uh-huh.
So you'll pay that again. So
Okay, I see.
yeah, different charter companies have different rules and do
Right,
different
different
things.
I see.
Everybody runs their business a little differently. So I'm not going to speak for charter companies. I don't own a charter company. I do maintenance for charter companies.
Okay.
But I'm not involved in the charter business,
Okay.
right?
I see.
So
Just
I'm not going to speak for their business plans, and because I'll get hit in the comments from,
yeah.
oh, that's not how it works. Whatever.
Screw you.
Those guys can speak for themselves,
Just a random question.
Yep.
That just came to mind. So as an aviation mechanic, what's one of the most difficult jobs that you've endured, like fixing a jet or a plane?
Oof. That's
Like- Like, what's it like when somebody brings their jet to you and you're like, fuck, this is going to suck? Like, what's like the toughest?
I don't really have that. The toughest part is timing it. like we could be busting our ass all week long, and somebody brings a jet in on Friday night at 8 p.m. and we're all ready to go home for the weekend or whatever, and then nope, we're working because we don't get the opportunity of saying no, we're not going to fix your airplane. Because if we say no, we're not going to fix your airplane, then they're going to go find somebody to fix their airplane, and then they're never going to call it. Yeah, so you don't get to do that. So that's the hardest part, is trying to staff for the need.
Yeah.
And it's very fluid. Sometimes you work every Thursday and Friday, late.
Yeah.
And then some Thursdays and Fridays, there's nothing going on, and you have guys sitting around doing nothing. So it's very hard to staff for that.
Okay, so you do technical work on airplanes at RAMS. What does RAMS stand for?
Rapid Aircraft Maintenance Services.
Okay, you guys have a good reputation at Teterboro?
I feel like we do.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. We've been around for over 20 years, and we put out quality work, and absolutely, yeah.
Especially now that you guys are accepting CINO token at a 10% discount.
We do offer a 10% discount.
It's fucking awesome.
And we do accept it, absolutely.
Business aviation contributes a massive $150 billion to the U.S. economy and supports 1.2 million jobs in sectors like maintenance, manufacturing, and operations.
Absolutely. I mean, the global economy relies heavily on aviation. Packages and goods get shipped all over the world via aviation.
Yeah, UPS, FedEx, right?
All those regular aviation cargo companies. The commercial space ships people around the world nonstop every day. Private aviation offers businessmen and business people the ability to hit lots of central airports around industrial centers where commercial aviation airports don't allow that.
Okay.
So the industry it's a global industry. World economies depend on it. And the logistics behind those industry, right? Behind that industry, maintenance people, manufacturing, fueling, baggage, catering, you name it. There's another industry that supports aviation in one way, shape, or form. It's tires, right? Goodyear, Michelin, they all make airplane tires, right? So the tire industry relies on airplanes. Like it just goes so far, you know? So yeah, absolutely. The world economy depends on aviation. Absolutely. And CINO is going to be involved in all of that.
Yeah. All right, so as a private aviation mechanic, you're going to like this one. Used like taxis, yet highly polluting. Private jet flights have increased 50% since 2019, with many short flights under 50 kilometers like jet taxiing. In fact, emissions from private jets in 2023 exceeded the total annual emissions of Tanzania's 60 million people. Pretty wild, but...
Yeah, I mean, it is. Listen, airplanes do produce emissions more than, let's say, somebody's car. There's fewer airplanes than there are cars. And let's not focus on airplane emissions when we need to focus on countries who have no regulations or very little regulations on their industrial complex.
Shout out India.
China. Like, you can put any country's name in there.
Even industrial animal farming here in America.
It happens.
It's a lot of emissions.
The United States is the top 3 emissions producer in the world. But we also have the top industrial complex. So you have to compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges. And if for me to sit here and complain or argue about jet emissions, I don't have the knowledge or the resources or the technology to make a green engine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how to do that. Elon Musk, have at it. There's your next idea. Yeah. Boeing, GE, Rolls-Royce, all you engine manufacturers, come up with a green engine. Or fuel companies, come up with a better fuel that produces less emissions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's where the answers are. Me and you arguing about emissions, we can't do anything about it. It's out of our realm to fix that problem.
Yeah.
There's other people out there who can solve that problem. It's not me. Yeah. So I'm not going to argue about it.
Okay.
Have I seen in the last 25 years jet engine technology advance to the point where I can tell the emissions are much lower? Yes. Right? We used to have engines 25 years ago that are covered in black soot and are filthy dirty, and now you hardly see any of that. So I know they're working on it.
Yeah.
Let's keep working on it.
Yeah.
Let's keep working. But you can't say, oh, they produce so much emissions that we can't have airplanes. The world would collapse without the aviation industry. So come on, let's be realistic here.
More emissions, fewer taxes. Though private jet travelers create 10 times more emissions per person than commercial flyers, they pay less to support aviation infrastructure. Just 2% of what funds the FAA compared to 7.5% from commercial airline passengers.
I do believe that because you have an airplane that's flying around producing emissions far less than a commercial airplane, but holding far less people than a commercial airplane. Do I agree with your statement? No. Do you remember we spoke about taxes in a previous video about how just because it's not called a tax doesn't mean it's not a tax? The private airplane owner pays for all the fuel that he uses. Let's say he uses 4,000 gallons of fuel to get to LA. He pays for all that. He pays $8 a gallon. I'm sure half, if not more, of that $8 per gallon is a fuel tax. Everybody's paying their fair share of taxes. Whether you agree, whether you sit on the left side or the right side or the far left or far right, I don't care. I don't care where you sit. Everybody's paying their fair share of taxes. And the only people that are winning are the people who are collecting taxes. They're the ones getting all the money, and they're not giving it back to us the right way. So
that's for damn sure.
Yeah. Everybody's paying their fair share. There's definitely money being spent to infrastructure and advancement.
Yeah.
It's happening. So come on. You're talking you're talking decimal points over here compared to the big scene.
Jet rentals are exploding. Post-pandemic, private jet rentals have doubled, with increases even in places like Australia, where domestic private jet travel rose 28%. Innovations like fractional ownership, subscriptions, and empty leg deals are making it accessible to a wider crowd. What's empty leg mean?
Empty legs are, let's say you charter an airplane from New York to the Bahamas.
Okay.
That airplane goes down to the Bahamas, and one of two things is going to happen. And I'm not in the charter industry. I don't broker airplanes, so I don't know exactly how all the minutia works in there. But normally, if you chartered one way, you would either have to pay for the airplane to stay 4 hours a day or something while you're there to take you back, or you would pay for the return flight. So if charter companies are saying, "Well, we're losing business and we don't want to do that," so they're sitting in the Bahamas and they'll put up an ad saying, "Hey, I've got an airplane going from Bahamas to their next trip, which might be out of Chicago."
Yeah.
So it's that's considered an empty leg. They don't want to move the airplane from the Bahamas to Chicago for their next their revenue flight.
Right.
So they'll offer up seats available to get people that want to go from Bahamas to Chicago.
Okay.
So empty leg travel is pretty much trying to use the airplane, put people on board, so they're not flying the airplane empty.
Okay.
That's empty leg travel.
I see.